gonna be abundant as fuck in money. Because for me, and I want to say it's not about I earn a lot of money, this is amazing, but it's like, no, I want to have this security of my body to have this money so I can feel free and in my workflow, and I can actually work from the place of creativity.
We should be live in my Facebook group for Wild, Woke, and Wealthy Soulpreneurs. And I'm with Mahe Ravi, amazing, one of my foundational members in the Conscious Creative Business School. And she is a doula for deep intimacy, everyone. She's here to alchemize your core wounds into an awakened heart. I really loved reading this and saying it out loud. It touches my soul. I want to thank you for taking the time to be here for my Client Success series. And why don't you introduce yourself to the folks watching and let us know what you're here, what's your work in the world?
I love it. Welcome. Thank you for bringing me here. And that goes to so many levels, right? Bringing me here to this interview. And then as I truly am a core member of this work you do, it really inspired me to show up every time, time again and again. And yeah, we know each other since so long, and I've been so many different persons on my way here. And this is like right now, and it took so long, I can actually share that I know what I'm doing. Hello, everyone. First of all, I know what I'm doing. And my work is about deep intimacy. It is truly about connection. I work with the energetics of trauma, of life energy, with eros, but also with emotional alchemy, because I truly believe that we all have so much power within us that is actually blocked because we are living in we are really living with covering identities. We all experience trauma in a way as collective trauma, but also in our childhoods, and it's these subtleties that really become our identities. And I want to shed these layers with folks out there to really, for them to recognize their true nature and to step into that power of true nature. And I know like when I talk about trauma healing, I know it doesn't sound so juicy, right? Like it sounds quite serious, but for me, trauma healing is juicy as fuck. And the vision is to not only create safety in your own body and with other bodies, but to really shift the perception to a pleasure-based life, where the whole spectrum of emotion is our powers and is our bliss and comes from a true place of pleasure.
I love this so much. And I want to reflect, yes, why I've been able to create the business that I've been able to create. Sure, I had some success in the beginning, and you even came on before I had a large amount of success, and you trusted me just from the energy. I want to tell the story of how we met, but just the energy of meeting each other, kind of having this kind of soul connection, or just this deep knowing of we're actually going to grow up together. We're going to grow through this together. And I was so happy that I got to hold space in your beginning stages of your journey, but you've also gotten to see me really succeed. And it wasn't until I looked at my own traumas from this lens that you're suggesting and offering and inviting us all into, that I really started actually making a lot of money in my business, and allowing money to support me, because I was no longer pushing it away as a support system. I felt worthy of deserving love and intimacy and money, because I had looked at my traumas from a loving lens and a pleasurable lens. So I just want to thank you for owning the work that you do. And so many people, if you're listening, check Mahe out, because as you've grown in my program, I'm also I've grown as a fan of yours. I'm checking out your work and your offerings and your content from this place of dang, she gets it. It's a work of art. And before I ask you about your success and invite you to tell us about that, I wanted to just let the people know, because many people ask me as a conscious business coach, how do you find clients? Where do you meet clients? And when I first put out like my first business offering, because I had creativity courses, I had songwriting courses. And even when we met in the Arctic Circle at a festival in Norway, like I was like this wild child traveling. I was actually delivering a workshop. I was invited to this festival to deliver a song channeling workshop in the healing center. And I just remember you had like a clown nose on and you're so fun and you're making these like wooden creature. You're just like so fun. And I was like, wow, like this is cool. And just meeting, I don't know if we ever had a conversation, just like meeting in that play, meeting in that kind of transmutation of trauma in those moments of like, I had a lot going on at that festival. Festivals bring up a lot for me. And I just remember just playing it out and just meeting and having cute interactions. But when I saw a power in you, and when I put out my first business program, the first time, I didn't have authority in my niche for what I was doing, but I reached out to you because I had known you. It's people like, where do you meet your clients? Where do you find clients? And I'm like, anywhere, like anywhere. They're everywhere. Like they're in the Arctic Circle with a clown nose on. They're like next to you in a coffee shop. They're on the internet. They're reading your words. They're following you on Instagram, but they're really anywhere. And but I reached out to you because we had a met and invited you and just answered your questions, and you trusted because you trusted in yourself. And we've gotten to grow together as a foundational member of the Conscious Creators Business School and to watch each other grow. And I just wanted to point that out for anyone just getting started, that I really do help people just getting started. And I really remember what it was like when we didn't know how to talk about our niche, when we didn't know how to share our message, when we didn't know like really how to describe what it is that we do. It's like, I'm awesome. Just come into my program. Like that's not marketing. Like that's not great messaging. But at first it's like, we just want to shake people and be like, just join me on this journey. And, luckily you did that when I called you because you trusted in yourself of like, I'm going to make this happen. But now I see how deeply you've developed your message over time and how it's like this living, breathing art, and how confident in it right now in you delivering what it is that you do right now to help people. It was so beautiful to witness you express that. And I wanted to share that. And I want to ask, so where were you when I first called you? Like, what was it like having these gifts, but like not being able to describe or even know, like, what is it that I do? Where are my clients? What was that like for you?
Oh my God, I really want to share that because I have this experience now that I am launching. I launched a German container now, and I actually deleted my German business at some point. Long story short, is that I have people joining now that actually been with me all the time. They've actually been in my very first random containers where I also look back the workbooks I did, and I don't talk anything different than back then in a way, but I talk with so much more confidence and so much more soul and so much more like expansion. But I have people joining from back then now, my big containers. And I really feel like sharing this because when I met you, you were just like a wind person. I really saw you like swirling around and doing your thing, and also like really talking. And we added each other on Facebook, and I saw your offerings, and I was like, wow, that's beautiful. It doesn't speak to me like a full calling to go to your voicing workshops, but I always really felt, wow, this is beautiful what she's doing, and I love the way she's doing it. I love the expansion she's doing it with. And when you launched that first offer, I've been watching you on Facebook, but it wasn't this full calling, and I saw it, and I was like, this is me. This is it. So it's actually, I've been watching you, it wasn't that didn't come from scratch, but I've been watching you, but only it's recognized when I reached out in a way. And I feel like I feel the same. I felt like nobody's watching me. Nobody knows what I'm doing. And now people are joining big time. And I'm getting the idea. I'm getting the understanding. Wow, they've actually been with me all the time. They've just been observing, and it wasn't the right call. And that's same perfect, because now I'm happy they joined, and now I can like give a lot, there's no judgment of when they join, but knowing that there are a lot of people around you, and there are a lot of people around me that are watching, that are noticing what we are doing, and that. Yes. And they're also not judging, right? People don't tell me, oh, you've grown and now your stuff is better. No, they're actually magnetized by every sharing that has been. That's a huge learning. So like a little sentence on your question, where was I back then? I just felt the call. I know that I had a big transmission to give, but I felt scared as fuck. I didn't know how to speak it out. I had massive insecurities about going live, and I actually still have. But back then, I really felt like this inner potential of, but I have to go this path, but also this outer pressure of, but I feel insecure and I don't know if anyone wants to hear what I have to say.
This is so common. Thank you for bringing this up, because it is so common. And exactly, like, I have a lot of air in my astrological chart. Like, I am this wind person. That's so beautiful that you said that. And I love to talk. And I was like, how can I create a business out of talking? And like, I was a psychotherapist for all those years. And it was like, really, like, we did play therapy, and somatic therapy was much more potent than actually talk therapy from what I saw. But there was talk, there was teaching. And I just thought, wow, really, what is my gift? Like, and we get to live our gifts, and and this is why I help people to cultivate their message, because you don't have to talk so much, but when your words are potent, and it is like coming from a space of confidence and knowing, it's going to land in the hearts of your dream clients. But like what you said too, is like, the insecurities are that block of, like, actually your words were always landing. Yes, you refined them, you deepened them, you got the juicy, your messages. I believe our messages are a living embodiment of who we are. Like, they're the transmission, exactly what you said, of who we're actually being and what we want to be known for. And so it's not that we create some message that isn't true. It's like, what is our true to you message? And people can sense, people are so wisely intelligent in their bodies and in their hearts. They can sense, like, oh, this human is really about what she's talking about. And that's really beautiful. And so part of my work in the world is to help people to release those insecurities. And sometimes it's just about them seeing that I was once insecure, or that you were once insecure, and like, or I once had these beliefs about myself, and how did I work through them so that I could have a better belief, but also so then I could align my actions with that better belief, because there are things that we're going to have to do in our businesses that feel uncomfortable, like going live, and we just get better and better each practice. And especially if we just give ourselves grace, and also join one of our programs and release that trauma around it, because it's deep. It's deeper than I'm realizing now, and opening my heart more and more now, that it's not about the doing, really. And I've heard that message out there, and I was like, no, I can't deliver this message because I know that I do things, and I don't want like the folks out there to think that you can just pray your conscious business into existence. We take actions, we share our messages, we go live when it feels uncomfortable. And if we're just doing without tapping into the places in us that are contracted and that are moving through our trauma, and actually, like, are we moving from a place of trauma, or we are moving from a place of, I'm actively looking at my trauma and so that I can live a pleasurable life? And I feel like that's part of your message. How does that resonate?
Yeah, big time. I had a big smile just right now coming up, because one thing is to find your intention. Why are you doing why are you doing this, right? And also, like, where does it come from? Does it come from an experience of lack, or does it come from an experience of abundance? And I think in this world, it's very easy to come from abundant, like from an idea of lack, because sometimes, we need money, and it's just, I wanted folks to join my program badly, because I wanted their money as well, because I really wanted to do my work. And I wanted to also, I really needed folks to join, because I want to practice. I really want to get going. And one of the biggest teachings is that to really embody what I teach, and not make it to the client if I'm going to embody it or not. So, but really seeing every day as my living workshop for what I teach.
Wow.
And obviously, the money thing is a saying, and I'm not going to say it wasn't easy. I made I made experiments. So I feel like especially when you are a person that comes from the idea, like from this lack of money, and be like, but I need to make a course so people join so I can actually make my work bigger. I really feel there is a truth in that, and not everyone can borrow money or like wants to keep their 9-to-5 job until they're self-employed. For me, that wasn't an option, and I didn't like that option. So I went full on. And for me, I went playfully, do a playful approach, try out different prices, try out different methods. I really felt, especially to like reprogramming this money lack, to just try out, be curious, try out another thing, offer things for free. Okay, how does that feel? How offer things on gift economy? Okay, how does that feel? Like just trying out and be curious and allowing different ways to play with the idea how money comes to you without just staying in one thing and asking yourself why it doesn't work. So I had the money struggle till the end of last year. Like I was still like people, I have a big following on Instagram now. I have people writing me all over. My work is so amazing. And I invested so big time in my work that I still had money struggles till the end of last year, which is basically just 2 weeks ago, basically.
Well, can you share your new money win? I want to touch on this too. I'm so happy you're turning the money in, but can you show the people, like tell the people, what is your newest money win?
Yeah, like I my newest money win is that I have two one-on-one clients signed up for my big offering, my one-on-one offering for 3,333 euro, which basically came in the same day. So I felt like, you know, this one day of making that much, having the feeling I made this money. And I have 39 women on my online course right now that started last week, where I haven't got any payment from 36 women because they will pay throughout the course. So it is flowing. And I had this idea, like I want to really share that, you know, I saw these, especially I changed my business to Instagram instead of Facebook. So I had a lot of these Instagram babes saying, I made 16, like I had this 16K launch within my first year of business. And I, you know, like obviously there was a part of me being like, shut up.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, people are triggered by me constantly. And they go,
I was super triggered, and I was like, you know, but the beauty is, and I work with triggers, so I'm like, again, drinking my own medicine.
Bring it on.
I'm like, okay, you're triggered because you want that and you see this potential in you. Otherwise you weren't triggered. And stop self-doubting, but like go all in. And I swear to God, the last half year, every month, I was looking at my bank account and I was like, truly believing it, next month I'm gonna be abundant as fuck in money. Because for me, and I want to say it's not about I earn a lot of money, this is amazing, but it's like, no, I want to have this security of my body to have this money so I can feel free and in my workflow, and I can actually work from the place of creativity. And I'm sorry to say that to all people that booked something to me in the past, but there was always this pressure of shit, I also have to make money from this. And I know that my course there was a potential my course wasn't touched because of this pressure, and that's okay, that's human.
Yeah.
And I don't want that anymore. So the last half year, every month I was like, no, next month I'm gonna be abundant as fuck. And you know what, my bank account stayed like the same. It stayed literally the same of the -1,000 I always had in debt, because I made so much debt with programs and other things that as soon as money came in, I had to pay it to pay debt. And I even launched a whole program, and people joined from like, you know, like during the days, and my bank account just stayed the same. And it was really like so frustrating.
Yeah.
And yet such an empowerment. And when these, like just 2 weeks ago, and it wasn't with the two, or before I launched this new program, I took my own advice. I was like, I'm just going to try something totally different, because if money is like teasing me, you know, I'm going to take the pleasure-based idea to tease it back. I'm going to tease money.
You little money tease.
I was like, you know, I really felt like this money is just teasing me, you know. It's like, oh, come on. And then, oh no, not yet. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna tease money. So what I did is I was like, I'm going to make a program. I'm not going to let myself be paid because I don't want to work for money anymore. I really want to work out of my sources. So I did this huge experiment that I'm offering a 7-week online course right now that has an immense value and potent, deep value.
Yes.
And I offered it for free. And I said to all the women, you can pay at the end of the journey, whatever it feels good for you.
Wow, that's sexy.
Yeah.
It's sexy because you wanted this and you didn't ask any mentor, because your mentors would have been like, don't do that. If you would ask me, I'd have been like, don't do that. And you did what you wanted to do.
And the thing is that so many people told me, oh, don't do that, you don't know your worth. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. I actually do know my worth.
Yeah.
I actually do know my worth, but I know that I'm more potent if I can speak from my creativity. And I wanted 33 women in the program. I have 39 women in this program. And there was so many women being like, I don't know if I can give to you this off, like I could feel they know the value, and I'm not any afraid that the value isn't there. And it's an experiment. I'm not going to say I'm going to do the gift economy for all my programs. No, it's an experiment. It is this chance. Maybe next time I take 9,000 euro for this offer. Like I'm not going to cage myself with this, but I wanted this experience to not work for money, but to tease it and to feel free. And actually, you know what happened? My bank account is on plus right now for the first time in 4 years. I have payment of 4,404 euro coming in right now because this one client of the big one-on-ones will pay me directly all at once. And I didn't even got any money of the 39 women coming in. So actually it worked out.
Yeah. And I'd like to see also, I'm interested, reach out at the end of the 7 weeks and see like really how much abundance these people see the value and pay you towards the end, because there will be some of those people that go, wow, and reach into their hearts and pay you way more than maybe you would even price yourself. Because when pricing comes up for my clients, for my people in my audience that ask me pricing questions, it is this dance, right? Of like, there is no one way. And now I'm starting to teach on like, what are you really ready to receive? What are you really ready to receive? And to do what you truly want to do from a place of purpose and move from that place will always create abundance and money. And you played with it. You got out of your mind, you experimented, came from a curious place, and you always, because it's your work in the world, touched on your trauma and triggers and thoughts. And how can we alchemize? Exactly what you said, alchemize these triggers. Like, this is your work in the world, so you're living it. But alchemize these triggers, because these are just thoughts. These are thoughts. And if we live the life just letting our thoughts control our life, especially when these thoughts are not, like, there are some thoughts that are actually coming from the deepest, purest place of our creativity, which is our sex, which is our pleasure, which is our truth. It's this blissful place in yoga that we learn about, Ananda. It's like the truth of our perfection. And I've been like trying to transmit this, but like transmitting this through my energy of sitting at the foot of a swami where I was like, convulsing and like having a psychedelic experience, going like, this is real. I am made of God. I am made of the same stuff that permeates the wind, like you said, literally, like, yeah, I'm a wind person. And it's like, what is more sacred than that? And so when we move, our desires are holy. And so you desired to play this game with your business, not and made a CEO decision, not go to any mentor, not ask any mentor, because you know what the mentors are going to say. Don't do that. You don't know your worth. And exactly, no, you don't get it. Because when we move from that decided place, when we're investing in ourselves and we go, it's not about the coach we invest in. Like, please, I hope everyone invests in our programs, like, of course, but it's not about the coach we invest in. It's about, are we extracting the value? We're getting next to this human. How did they live their life? How did they do it? Really? And taking what works in our, feels good in our body and making our own dang decisions. So I just want to say that's what it's about. And that's what my program Deep Money is about. looking at the ways that we've been interacting with money and going like, hey, like, because you are an abundant person, like you really are, but it wasn't showing up in your bank account yet. And the way that I help my clients now is kind of seeing like there's these energetic upgrades we make. And sometimes the physical realm is a little more dense. Even our bodies are a little more dense than thought is. Even like thoughts can be kind of fun to play with because they can be like, get out of here. Or like, no, I'll take that one in and see if I can work with that in my body. And yeah, but the body and the physical plane, it's just a little bit more dense, a little bit more time to catch up to the knowing that we're whole and perfect and our desires are holy. So like, let me do what I want to do.
Yeah. And I just want to share, like, I totally identify this pattern of shit. My nervous system likes to not have money because I like to keep stress, because that's the usual, like, really, I like this understanding of, oh fuck, I actually really like to need to make money, so I'm occupied with working because I'm actually super afraid to be relaxed, and I don't know what I do when I'm not working because I made this my purpose, and now I have to stress myself to always needing to work.
Yes.
So
I do this with men. I figured out business, and it's the same with relationships. It's like, wait a minute, I love the push and pull. I love to be rejected. Yes.
Oh my God, I love this. Wait, no, I'm such a secure person, like, in my relationships now, because I really, like, I got deep core wound healing here going on because I really embodied my work. And then I came to the business and I was like, oh fuck, like, this is just a repetition of the patterns I actually used to play out in my relationships. And that's the thing, I feel like, with the gifting economy. And I wouldn't recommend the gifting economy to anyone that says, I want it to be available for everyone. That's like, that's not, that can be part of it, that can be the half of it. But my way of gifting economy is like, no, I want to be receptive for anything. Like, that's the second half. You could be like, if you only want to make it available for people, that's like one thing. But are you making yourself available to receive? And that is the feminine, like, this is the healthy feminine energy. And this is what I was stuck in my relationships as well, and still am in some parts, but also and especially in my work, that I didn't allow myself to receive. I felt I had to work to show myself that I'm worthy. I had to stay stressed to not being able to receive. And with this tryout, with this teasing of money, I really made a big step into receiving and allowing myself to receive. And the last 2 weeks, I actually had days where I didn't work.
Yeah.
And I'm stepping into a new era of, wow, I also don't identify with my work to cover my trauma. And this is powerful because, every powerful things we do, we can use them as well as a mask, and then especially working as a therapist, or as like with other human beings, it's so easy to feel obviously good because you feel your purpose to the outcome. But I'm so much more of that, and I'm so worthy to receive and have abundance and have work-free days, and I need to allow myself that, and it's nobody out there.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, because really what I find it gets projected on me is like, oh, you must be hustling. And I'm like, yesterday I sat here with 3 goddesses, we drank tea and we spanked ourselves and we talked about boys and we like talked about this healing work, and we just had conversations, and now this is me working, right? Like, I'm having a conversation with a beautiful human I'm like inspired and feeling open and juicy. And then an hour from now, I'll have my 2-hour coaching call with my elevated mastermind. It does not feel like work. And I have to do so much work around that, because even when I'm working, I am so turned on by going live. Like, I'm gonna share my voice with cool people who want to hear it. Like, wow, having a sales call, I'm like, wow, I'm gonna get it to meet somebody who otherwise I wouldn't been able to meet, whether they join my program or not. I'm always touched by those conversations that I have in sales calls and enrollment calls. But I had to do a lot of work around this as well, because I don't know if any of you have read the book Existential Kink, but I'm really feeling this like
Yes.
oh, this owning from both of us, and just like, right, like there is a part of us, and maybe this, for those watching, you might want to feel into this as well. It's not like the main part of my work, but I'm really getting into this. Like I've always been into the shadow work, but more like you, like how can we look at our shadows in a very playful way? And it is serious work, but it's like, I don't have to like, feel so treacherous all the time. But there's this piece of me that is so turned on by this treacherous feeling. Like being rejected, people saying no to me on sales calls, like yeah, you're worthless.
Self-sabotage.
Yeah. But now it's like, whoa, but when I really allow myself to really go like to play this out in my life, to like ask my new lover to be like, hey, like, can you, like, he'll call me a good girl, and then I'll be like, can you do that again, but spank me, like give me a little boop. And so like my kinks are very sweet. Like I want to be the good girl. I want to be like, or like if I was a bad girl, then I want a little boop. Like, I mean, I have friends that like tie each other up, cool, whatever y'all are into, fine. But like it's all very sweet, but it's all very related to business. Where it's like, if I play this out in my life, if I go, ooh, I don't want to work today, and then I close my laptop, I don't post anything, I like drink tea and spank myself, I was bad, I don't want to work, and I give myself that, then I'm more likely the next day to come back to my writing desk, to write my posts, to share my voice, to create the opt-in pages for my events. Like, that stuff isn't juicy and fun, but we can make it juicy and fun. We can make creating opt-in pages. And I've seen how you've done it, because your website to me, and so if anybody wants to check out Mahé, I'm going to leave all her cool stuff, but your website to me is a living altar. It's like this is what I'm starting to teach on, is like, it's an altar. It's an online altar. Like if you don't need a website, but then your message is your altar, is your online altar. Yes. And or like your graphic is your online altar. And so you can have a website, and like, right, it doesn't even, if you're not great at graphic design, you can hire someone else out to do that. But like to deliver your transmission as the creative CEO, to say like, this is how I like, this is the colors I like, this is the essence that I want to express to my potential clients, so that they feel me, so that they know that I'm their guide. Like abundance is everywhere. I have my clients that resonate with me and the way I move, and you have your clients. And that's what's so gorgeous. There's so many people in this world that want to be helped by me or you or whoever's watching. Like you have that potential, and tease them, tease your clients. Even. So is there anything that you want to transmit to my audience? Anything more? I mean, you've already given so much, but if there's a lesson that you could offer someone who's thinking about joining the Conscious Creative Business School, or taking a deeper look at themselves as they share their gifts, what would you like to say?
Oh my God, there's so much like living through me right now. Also, again, like this understanding how I've been jealous, and now I can be the one actually saying it's still my first year of business, and I'll do that 33,000 launch. I totally got that.
It's inspiring. You're inspiring us. Yeah.
Something that comes up, I just want to name that for the thing of like visual marketing. And there was one point where I switched very actively to Instagram, because I found my medium, and it's really important to find really the medium that suits you best. So I have a friend, and she's a photographer, and she worked with me to be photographed. And there's something that is deep within my trauma landscape that I really love to be seen, and it plays out that I really love to be on stage. That's why I've been a performance artist, or I really like to be photographed. And it was incredible for me that I really didn't needed photography or design to say my message. But when I got it, when I made, and I really paid a lot for the design work on my work, it helped me to understand my message better, to speak it out there. So I feel it's something that we say we don't need it to reach the audience, but for me, it helped myself to actually feel badass as fuck, and to show up in my work better, because I felt professional. So whatever you need to feel professional, do it. Like it's not even about your audience. I don't care about how many people like my photos, because I love my photos. And I'm like, I love my photos, and I got more juicy and my work got more juicy because I allowed myself to invest in the juiciness of my work. And design is the juiciness of your work. And I think also there for me was really working with the masculine and the feminine, allowing myself to really step into this feminine of, I want to have my work to be beautiful because I feel more beautiful working then. Yeah, that just comes up like big time. And it also plays out, I think, in the hustling, and like, don't get stuck in the hustle. And for me, like, seeing it as polarity, when I see your program, especially if you're triggered by this idea that Christina doesn't hustle, oh my God, come in and like allow yourself to receive this living transmission of you are allowed to receive. One of the biggest learnings, like as you describe it, and I think what really makes you an awesome coach is that you have this background actually in therapy work, because a lot of this is brought down to the nervous system. Is your nervous system even able to receive? And that's obviously, sometimes you're like, mentally, I'm fine, I want this money. Heart, you're like, I'm open. But what is about your nervous system? Can you truly relax into the fact that you want to make money? And I really love your background in therapy, because it helped me a lot when I had the coaching sessions with you, even one-on-one, that I felt heard and seen in the ability to open up. And I felt like my whole system was actually spoken to, not only my mind, not only the vision that I create with my mind, but really like my whole system was spoken to with the connection with you and with the words you shared. And I know that, like, I feel like business mentoring is a lot being a great cheerleader. It's actually being a cheerleader. Let's be real. It's being a cheerleader and having, okay, you also need a good bunch of wisdom, but also like, I think lots of it is cheerleading. And I say that with the biggest gratitude and the biggest admiration, because cheerleading is fucking difficult. Seeing the light in other people is, we think we are afraid of the dark, but there's this beautiful poem already from Marianne Williamson. The most we are afraid of is actually our light. So I feel being a cheerleader is actually a really badass job, to truly see the light in person and to cheer people to see the light in them. Wow, like that's big time. So for me, even it sounds like, oh, I think you're a cheerleader, but I think cheerleader are, wow, they're having like a truly raw and honest job here.
This is so funny. Did you know I was captain of the cheerleading team in high school?
But I see it. I can totally see it. Like, honestly, that just fits so good.
It's so funny because what's really fun is like, I think people in Europe and stuff, like they don't have this. Like this is an American thing. So like, but it really is a thing. And then like there's a whole thing growing up around it too. So like, but it's cool because like people from Europe will be like, oh, this is like a thing that we don't get to prom. Like, what is this? But you're really seeing it at the deepest level. What I've even worked through, I mean, you were one of my foundational members. I was still like developing my skills, or I still had insecurities about the way I hold space. Even with a master's degree in clinical psychology, I was still like, am I doing good enough? Are these people receiving? We all have those thoughts, you know? So to hear that feedback, even from our coaching calls years ago, like, wow, thank you. Because I've been coached over this last year and I just hired a high level mentor. And like each time I invest in myself and each time that I'm coached and guided, I'm like, whoa, just settled into the skills of like, wow, really? Yeah, we all just want to be seen and heard. And we are just all seeing and hearing each other. And I've up leveled my belief, or like maybe back then, I didn't believe in myself as much. And it trickled into the thoughts and beliefs I had about my clients. Like in my mind, I believe in everybody's ability to create financial freedom, but maybe I would have this thought that was really about me and projecting it into the energy field. But really, you're feeling it now. It's like I hold the deepest and purest belief in myself and in anyone in my audience, all these little humans, that little, big, grand, powerful humans and little humans, cute little humans that are in my energy field, that are hearing this transmission, that are looking at my sales page. Like feel them, and I'm calling in the ones that know that they want to be held in that belief container of like, really, I can help you to believe in yourself because I hold that vision. I hold your vision for you. I hold that vision that you want to create. I know that it's 100% possible. Like, I'm basically Jenny from the block, like captain of the cheerleading team, but like, I grew up poor. I had no idea. I was even talking to folks yesterday where like, yeah, I'm creating money in my business, but the people I was hanging out with, they've had money all their lives. And they were amazed that when I was in Norway, I had $1,000 in my bank account. You know, like I was just kind of this person that was traveling the world. Sometimes I'd get it down to like $500. So this fluctuation with money, and finally coming to this place of like, I can create money. I am an unemployable. I will not work for somebody else. And I can create financial freedom for myself. So I know with all this nervous system deregulation, with all this trauma around money, like literal, like things that have happened to me that I share in my deep money course around money and how I moved through that, I worked through it to hold the grandest belief of like, if this poor little brown girl from somewhere in the States can create this expansive life, live so freely, talk about sex, money, drugs, like talk about psychedelics, like really live in my truth day to day, y'all can do it. I know it's hard. I know it feels hard, but like we can together. And if you join Mahe's program as well, like we can together figure out why it feels hard and release those things really fully and like truly, like not just going like, I release it and like saying that affirmation, I release it. Like affirmations are cool, but like there's deeper work to be done. It's the work that you do. Like, so thank you so much for helping us all. This talk is like, oof, grounded me into my power. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And I feel it's exactly the perfect moment to actually share that I have a free masterclass coming up. Oh my God, like what's the date? I guess it's the 22nd or the 20th. Go check out my book. But it's,
I know we have the schedule. We'll leave the links too and the times and stuff.
It's called Unwind, and it's about healing the nervous system. So it is exactly touching on what we just talked about, because it's like exactly what you're saying. You can have the biggest mindset, but you got to invite your body in. You got to go at the pace of your nervous system, and that sometimes needs some time. That means sometimes to slow down, but it is this steady, really like you're expanding, like rather than going for one peak experience, like expanding over time, like I did with your program.
Yeah, exactly. I want to just tell everybody, like, join her masterclass, follow her on the Instagram to see this living embodiment of a message. What I mean, like when I say live your message, or you are already a living embodiment of your message, and your words, the things that you say, you express, and the words that are on your graphics, and the way that you connect with those folks energetically to call them in. It's like, yes, because you've done this nervous system work, because you're an expert in it, and you let people know the value of it. Like our body needs to catch up. Are we hearing that really? Like, is everybody out there hearing that? And if you feel like you'd like to really tap into this work, this is a free masterclass. Might as well join, huh?
Yes.
I think I'll be there. Like, send me the link.
Yes.
Right. So lovely. So how can the folks get in touch with you? They have this masterclass, and where else are you open and ready to receive folks?
Beautiful. Like for me, I know we're on Facebook right now, but I'm an Instagram babe. I'll own it, and I would love you to jump over to Instagram and really follow me there, because this is where my content lies. This is where you get the juiciest package out of me. And yeah, if you join my free masterclass, you can also just sign up and you get the recording, and you will be added to an incredible newsletter where I also put out my free offerings, so you really get in touch through that. So see it as your little tease to get to know my work, and just use it the way you want it.
Oh, tease us. It's so lovely. This is such, thank you for delivering this concept too of like, we can tease money, we can tease men, we can tease women, we can tease our clients. And it's a sweet invitation of exactly like, yeah, people are going to come into your world, and whether they buy your programs or not, they are touched by your presence. And that's what we're here for, really. That's us living in our purpose. So thank you for offering this. And I'm so looking forward to continuing our conversations to see where we both expand and where all the people that work with us expand as well. So I'm going to say aloha. I'm so happy for everyone watching. Is there anything else that you'd like to say before we close?
Yes, there's one thing, because I feel like we're gonna meet in 5 years and we're gonna be like, oh my god, this was so baby, look at us now, you know. like and I want to say that, like, to all of you, there's always going to be a more expanded version of yourself. You are constantly unshedding, unraveling, you're constantly learning and expanding. Don't let that hold yourself from whatever you're doing right now, because yes, there's always going to be a more pure, probably more uncovered nature of yourself, and that is incredible, and that's just simply how life is. So living the imperfection, just being perfect human.
Tease our imperfections. Yes, thank you so much, and I will talk to you so soon. Aloha.
Aloha, beautiful
Bye.
soul.